This video is one that I've been waiting to do for maybe 3, 4, 5 months. And that is where I'm at financially on a month-to-month basis. And the reason I am doing this is because I finally hit that goal that I set. And I didn't know if it was ever going to happen because I didn't think I'd remember what I did for speaking or talking or even do well at one-on-one coaching. And so where I'm at now, I'm really excited about. It reminds me of how important the things in life are that actually have meaning, that actually have purpose, that we should be focused on rather than the money itself and who we have to become to attain that money. And so it's random. I'm just going to do my warm-up set for back and biceps while I'm here. But, I thought, I'm a projector. What's important for me is speaking through my heart, my G center, through my throat, and just being really honest with myself and where I'm at in life. And doing it in the place that I enjoy being, which is my shed. And doing it while I'm engaging in the things that I enjoy or the things that are important for me. The other day, it was washing the clubs after a round of golf. Today, it's as I'm up for movement exercise that I enjoy. So back and biceps first, and then I will do probably some stretching the lower body, just making sure I engage, have strength and stretching at the same time, and try and leverage that. See how that helps my lower body, which then helps my posture, which then helps hopefully my movement overall. But with this, like with where I'm at financially, I'm very grateful because, and these are just like 20 reps, just warming up. I feel really grateful because when I left hospital, and I finally realized, like, holy crap, we're going backwards financially. Not only are we going backwards financially, but the people that we have in the business aren't even trying to get themselves work. They're focused on me getting them work, which, I was used to because that's why I brought people on, because I was so busy with my speaking that I couldn't all the opportunities that were coming. And so I felt very lucky that I could have opportunities come in, have a business, and then have people that I thought were awesome, and they were awesome with what we were doing, and I could give those opportunities to the people that were there. And so I was very lucky in that sense, and that's how we got to a point where I was working like 2 days a week, and we were on about 50 grand a month by the time I got sick. So I was very, very lucky. But because I was someone who didn't feel good enough with who I was, I saw all my worth in what I was doing for work, how I was building a small business, and how we were doing well financially. And I thought, well, the more money that I make, the bigger this becomes, then I can sell it off and then I can have more time for my family, even though I was only working 2 days. Sounds ridiculous. That's where I was at. And so I never really allowed myself to feel loved fully or be loved fully, because I thought it's not until I'm making enough money that I see myself as successful that I'm going to let that in, because I don't deserve it. Like, that's just what was in my head. I don't deserve it. I need to make X amount of money to see myself as successful, to hopefully have the recognition that I want from the people that I want, to pay this house off, and then I'm going to be worthy of love. Looking back at it, it's like, oh man, I obviously didn't love myself to the point where I thought money would make me love myself. Actually, money would allow myself to let people love me, and then hopefully when I have money, when I've paid the house off, when people love me because I've let them in, because I feel I deserve it, then I'll love myself. Like, whoa. Wow. That's massive. That's a lot. And so, when I realized that I couldn't do that not only were we not making $50,000 a month anymore, not only was I able to give, the people I love income and money and pay stuff off like fairly quickly. It's like, oh my God, we're not making money, but we're going backwards financially because of the money that I have to spend, that we have to spend. And the amount of work that Katie had to do for me, for my daughters, for the family, because I could no longer work, because I couldn't drive, because I couldn't do a whole lot of things and I couldn't remember. Shit, at some points I couldn't really speak well. And so I was really afraid of not being able to go back to what I was used to. And so I didn't expect myself getting to this point. Like, I remember putting out posts saying, sheesh, I got told I shouldn't fly. And that's the basis of my identity back then, the FIFO mental health guy, FIFO mental health group. My identity was the guy who was flying out to site, spending a couple of days there, doing talks every day, doing one-on-ones in between all the talks, and just hanging out with people, having those interactions and connecting, and hopefully in those moments helping people understand, like, oh my God, although I feel this way right now, I don't understand why I'm there, like, change is possible. And I would leave those site visits feeling so happy, feeling so energized. I didn't leave there feeling drained, like, oh my God, I can't do this again. I left there feeling energized because I loved it. But I let it go because the doctors were telling me that I probably shouldn't be flying. So it wasn't until I realized, like, oh man, my brain's actually getting better. The doctor, the hematologist, finally let me know a few months later that I'm actually okay to fly. And in fact, I can do long flights back to New Zealand, like the 7-8 hour flights, and not worry, just as long as I'm wearing tights on my legs so that they're getting the blood flowing, so that I'm having aspirin, or, I was given blood thinners, but I'm not doing those anymore. Just I'm having natural products to do that, so I don't have the side effects of of blood thinners and whatever other medication there was before. And so now I know I can. Now opportunities are coming in. I was really just focused on the one-on-one coaching because I didn't trust myself. I didn't think that I could speak again. And it wasn't until our You OK Day where I got multiple opportunities and I started doing them. I started with 2 online sessions with 2 massive companies. Did so well that the feedback on LinkedIn, on email, on the chat itself was huge. Like, it wasn't just huge for the people within it to understand how impactful it was, but for me, like, mentally, emotionally, like, my ego, and just the way that I felt about myself and the belief that I had, because I'd lost so much belief in myself, which I never expected, because I just saw myself as doing good in that. And so when that happened with those 2 online sessions, the belief come back and it was like, oh my God, like, I can do this again. I could do it again. And I realized in that, like, oh my God, I feel like I can do this again, not just to the level that I was at, but maybe even better than where I was then. And it wasn't until I went to Bank West. So it was with Bank West and Commonwealth Bank were online because they teed it up with Saxon speakers, and Bunnings and Allianz were on that as well. And it was the coolest. Amphitheatre in Bank West here in Perth CBD. And I remember doing that session and that going so well, and having interactions with people, like in person, but then people reaching out to me via message, just asking me questions. And that feedback was so good that my confidence just skyrocketed. My belief in myself come back 100%. And I was like, oh my God, not only can I do this again when I, had the fear that maybe I could never do that. Not only can I do it again, but I can do it better than what I did it before. And one of the reasons that I feel like I can do it better is because obviously I've been through some shit. I've been through the strokes and the seizures and the whatever else was there. The strokes, the seizure, whatever else was there. And holy moly, like, there was a lot. There was a lot to learn. There was a lot to go through. There was a lot to accept. There was a lot to accept there. And so I think even going through that, no matter how hard life was before it, those lessons, as much as I hated them when I was in hospital, when I was trying to accept that I wasn't making money, not only was I not making money, that I was losing money, when I finally accepted it was there, accepted that I was who I was in that moment of time, and that I started making progress from that space, like holy moly, things started changing. And so it went from having a goal of just trying to get one-on-one clients to like finally getting them. And I had one of my favorite ones was Tamara, and like she was so amazing. I started out with her. We did maybe 3 months together, and she just absolutely crushed it. Like transformed the way that she felt about herself, the way that she showed up, not just for herself, but for her parents, her partner, like the people around her. Like, man, and to see that shift in someone was beautiful. But my goal was to hit 10 grand a month. And, you know, that was a goal in my head. It felt small because I was used to making more. It felt small, but even then I still didn't know if I could do that. And so why I'm making this video right now is because I have. I finally hit that goal of making 10 plus grand a month. And the best thing about this, whether you think about human design or not, is that, geez, last month it was 3-4 talks. So that's, you know, about 14 grand. November, December, that's a couple site visits, a couple talks. That's about 30 grand, something like that. Coaching clients that I had the month prior, that was maybe 3-4 grand a month. And then, you know, different things that I've done with Rio and other companies. In total, it works out over the last 6 months to be about 10 to 12 grand a month, which, you know, for me, I think back then when I was making a lot, that wouldn't have been enough. I never would have felt good enough because that wasn't enough to pay off fast, to let love in. But I think now that life has shifted, where I understand that I have to be my number one priority, only to make sure that I'm healthy enough, to make sure that I love myself enough to then show up with that energy, with that aura, as Lauren's kids would call it. It's not TikTok aura. It's like energetic aura, to show up as that person to the people around me, to connect with them, to show them love without needing that love in return. Like, then the people around me become priority number 2, the external world, and showing up that way, and then the opportunities come in for work because of who I am, how I'm showing up. And understanding that being the 1-3 self-projected projector, like, this is what I'm supposed to do. Like, leaning into stuff, investigating, learning about stuff, and going through mistakes that I've made, or going through the ups and downs of life, and then taking that and speaking from the heart through the throat. That is how I be the most integrity-based, authentic version of me. I'm not faking who I am. I'm not trying to be more than I am. I am being, or trying to be, exactly who I am right now. I am trying to. I'm trying to be exactly who I am right now. Oh, don't fall over, phone. And so, yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to be where I'm at. I'm really happy. I didn't know if this was possible, but it is. Like, it really is. And I get to do things like this. I get to spend time with my family. I get to work on my house. I get to go play golf and do things that I enjoy. And these opportunities with talking and one-on-one coaching and visits to site mean that I don't have to work much at all, but that I get to do the thing that I'm put on this earth to do. And it just feels beautiful. Like, it feels like the best way that my life can go and flow. So yeah, what I thought was going to be a 5 to 10 minute video turned into a bloody 16, 17 minute one. But I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're all doing well. I hope, I guess, what I go through in life, what I learn from it. And that's the thing, right? If you go through the ups and downs in life, especially the downs, if you don't take what you've been through and turn those into lessons that help you improve who you are, it stays a down. It stays a down that you constantly fight, constantly reject or resist. And the more you reject or resist or fight the thing being there that you don't want to be there, the longer it stays there and the more you have to fight it. And the more you fight something, the more energy you give to the hate, to the anger, to the fear, instead of to the love, the joy, the peace, the gratitude, the contentment. And so, obviously, we all go through ups and downs in life. I hope my stories, my lessons, and maybe even the way that I talk about them hits you just enough to go, oh shit, that thing I've been through, yeah, that's something I can turn into a lesson and understand that without that lesson, without that moment in life, I probably wouldn't be a better version of myself. I would still be on that path, interacting with the same people in the same way, instead of taking that lesson and building myself to be someone better. Whew. That's about it. Cheers.